So far, in our course, we have learned that successful brands seem to have energy. Visit a retail shopping area and observe the successful shops. There are shoppers, music, displays, and storefronts that are interesting, involving, and energetic. Other stores, in comparison, seem boring and dead. Some traditional brands, such as AT&T, Sears, and Brook Brothers, often struggle with the impression that they are old-fashioned, out of touch, and, well, boring. This impression can affect their relevance for some key younger segments, the lifeblood of future business. When a brand lacks energy, it often resides in what is termed the graveyard. In other words, a graveyard brand is one that has low levels of unaided recall, but high levels of aided recall. This will not get it into the consideration set, which is why it is so important for the brand to maintain an adequate energy level. One way to do this is to use another brand, which is not part of the offering per se, but has energy, and then use that branded energizer to energize the master brand or sub-brand. Therefore, the long-winded definition of a branded energizer is a branded product, promotion, sponsorship, symbol, program, or other entity that by association significantly enhances and energizes the target brand, with both the branded energizer and its association with the target brand being actively managed over an extended time. As we have seen, an internal branded energizer is one that is owned by an individual firm, but these are difficult and expensive to develop. The problems of finding and managing internal branded energizers leads firms to look to brands external or owned by another to the organization, which constitutes a brand alliance. This is helpful because there is practically an infinite supply of brands outside the organization that have enormous strength and are linked into the lifestyles of customers, will have needed associations to enhance the brand, are not tied to competitors, and can be linked to the target brand. An external branded energizer must have a source of energy, be interesting to customers, be visible, have hands-on brand associations, and provide ways to generate brand links. These sources include sponsorships, endorsers, products, symbols, and countries or regions. The right sponsorship, handled well, can transform a brand. Consider a rather useful product like motor oil and a respected brand like Valvoline. Such a brand would normally have trouble generating interest and energy, much less becoming an important part of a person's life. Few people would be motivated to read ads about motor oil, which is perceived by many to be an undifferentiated product. Through sponsorship activities, Valvoline becomes part of the NASCAR scene and everything changes.
In the natural physical world, there is rhythm and there is motion. You can't catch hold of it. You can't describe it. But you can imagine. And so the clock is just like a ruler and is as abstract as a ruler. And time then obviously is a way of measuring motion.
I really think Valvoline was probably my first ever product sponsorship that I ever had. I mean, we used Valvoline, that was our oil of choice, but then we built a relationship with them locally in Indianapolis from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And, you know, one day I made a phone call and I said, yeah, you know, come on in, we'll give you a few cases of oil, help you out. And I was racing midgets and sprint cars around Indiana, Ohio, the Midwest. And so I, you know, drove in the speedway and picked up, you know, a couple of cases of oil. Thought it was the coolest thing ever. That turned into a pretty regular routine where, you know, I'd make my trip into the speedway and pick up some Valvoline and We had a Valvoline sticker on a race car right from the beginning.
The Valvoline racing program is multidimensional. Valvoline is not just a sponsor of NASCAR, but has a NASCAR racing team as well. At the Valvoline website, a destination site for those involved with racing, a visitor can access the schedule for NASCAR and other racing circuits, learn about teams' activities, buy Valvoline racing gear, and sign up for a weekly newsletter that provides current information. Valvoline thus becomes closely associated with the racing experience, much more than simply being a logo on a car. There are guidelines in using sponsorships as seen on your screen. A sponsorship can provide the ultimate in relevance and the movement of a brand upward into an acceptable or even a leadership position. A significant problem with sponsorship, indeed with any external branded energizer, is linking it to the brand. The Valvoline NASCAR program is a successful model. However, the potential of a sponsorship is not automatic. A brand may lack energy, but there are plenty of personalities who are contemporary, on-brand, energetic, and interesting. It's not a new idea in marketing. Celebrity endorsements sell products, and it's based in pretty simple logic. People idolize celebrities, so when famous people are seen in advertisements promoting a new product, audiences are prompted to buy that product, either subliminally or directly. The potential positive effects on product sales cannot be understated. That's why businesses, even small businesses, would be foolish to resist the mere exploration of celebrity influencers to promote their brand. The effects would be substantial if the brand could find a prominent name who influences their audience. Occasionally, a project is given a sales boost by just the mention of it from a well-known individual that isn't even considered a celebrity. President Obama was videotaped singing a line from Al Green's song, Let's Stay Together, and sales of the song soared 490%. The Brand Portfolio Strategy book uses Tiger Woods and Buick as one example of how a connection to the brand is effective if it is part of a larger program. As is evident by the more current celebrities endorsing major products, including the famous actors in these following commercials.
Tengo una familia unida. Bueno, demasiado unida. Entonces tenemos que mantener el cabello oliendo rico, ¿cierto? Sí. Por eso usamos Head and Shoulders, que mantiene el cabello 100% libre de caspa y además huele delicioso. Prueba la nueva fórmula de Head and Shoulders.
I touch the rain. I look at the sun, and it says run.
Where the light shivers offshore through the tides of oceans, we are shining in the rising sun.
I watch it all turn, the water, the earth, the sun and me. J'adore. We are gold. J'adore. Dior.
Sweetheart, don't look at me like that. It's gonna be amazing.
This is a disaster. Who's the genius who puts a girl in heels on a subway grate?
Miss Monroe, eat a Snickers.
Why?
You get a little cranky when you're hungry. Better?
Much better.
This scene will never make the cut. Morons.
There are many more examples, but the message here is that celebrities inspire consumer confidence. The brand value added by celebrities is immediately and palpable. When a celebrity signs an endorsement deal with a product, an element of legitimacy is suddenly present in the company, simply because of the power of the name backing it up. Selecting and engaging an endorser is a critical first step in creating a strategic brand energizer. There are a host of considerations. An endorser target should be appealing. It should have the right associations. It should have the potential for a long-term relationship. It should have the potential to create programs surrounding the endorser. and it should be cost effective and available. Creating a home run co-brand product involves thinking outside the box to find creative new ideas, and the result should resonate with customers. Dreyer's Ice Cream Limited Edition is an energy source for dryers. They introduced ice cream flavors for a limited time around themes like Scooby-Doo and the professional football team. These special flavors attract attention, creating bursts of energy and sales with a meaningful segment. The Energizer Bunny kept going and going and going until he didn't. Battery maker Energizer Holdings didn't completely do away with the popular pink mascot over the past 5 years, but after they spun off its personal care products business in 2015, he was sidelined. Recently, Energizer launched its latest ad campaign and tagline, Still Going, which is a way to connect consumers with the earlier campaigns that elevated the drum-beating, sunglasses-wearing bunny to an iconic figure recognized around the world. The hopes are that re-energizing the mascot will make him bigger, better, and bunnier. Westin is a popular hotel chain. To differentiate and energize their brand, they came up with the Westin Heavenly products. It is the Westin difference of a heavenly experience. The headliner for this Energizer is the Westin Heavenly Bed. The hotel describes the sleeping experience as being enveloped by layers of down, 250 count sheets, 5 plush pillows, and their exclusive pillow top mattress. Sounds great, right? Not only was this a branded differentiator for Westin, but they were able to successfully re-energize their brand by promoting a luxurious style into their average hotel brand. One of the problems with an endorser is that even if a good selection is made, things can go wrong. Any real person is fallible and gets older. Even Michael Jordan eventually retired for good, reducing his impact, and Nike had to face in new endorsers, such as the previously mentioned LeBron James. And other endorsers, some by no fault of their own, attract negative publicity that limits their effectiveness and, at worst, damages the brand. Take the case of decorated Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte. Lochte landed in hot water after he claimed he and other U.S. swimmers were robbed at gunpoint in Rio during the Olympics. He later backtracked, saying he over-exaggerated the story. It only took one brand to drop Ryan Lochte before the rest of its sponsors followed suit. A symbol does not have this risk. Bart's symbol created energy, a personality, and significant sale gains for Butterfinger in the early 1990s. And Snoopy has been a symbol of MetLife for nearly 2 decades. For MetLife, the goal is to provide a warm, light, non-threatening approach to insurance, which is perceived by many to be boring, money-grabbing, and bureaucratic. This is to prevent what psychologists call counter-arguing, which is a natural tendency to be cynical toward an insurance company ad due to the likable Snoopy because it makes no sense to argue with a likable cartoon character. The important role of the symbol is to create personality, reinforce associations, and to inject humor and likability into an otherwise bland and uninteresting message. A country or region can have a strong brand that can provide interest, energy, and differentiation to a target brand. For example, Chanel and L'Oreal mean Paris. Beck's Beer and Mercedes are German. Stolichnaya Vodka means Russian. Volvo is from Sweden. Bloomingdale's and Tiffany's scream New York. McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and Levi's are American. Sony is Japanese, and Dewar's is Scottish. In each case, the brand's association with the country or region implies higher quality because the country or region has a heritage of making the best within that product class. A country or regional brand can do more than create credibility, as consumers link certain brands with feelings of social status, pride, power, and specific lifestyle. Country of origin can act as a self-expression attribute in these cases. Connecting a brand to the West has for decades created self-expressive benefits within the Japanese market and accounts in part for the high regard Western brands have in Japan. McDonald's to Levi's to Rolex and BMW. are many of the ones that are popular in that country. Bloomingdale's has drawn on the energy of Manhattan and the mystique of Fifth Avenue to create a destination store that would be difficult to establish on functional benefits alone. And a region or country can usually be counted on not to fade like an endorser. The region or country should be counter-relevant to the product category, and the brand must have a legitimate link to the area that can be leveraged into a series of effective brand-building activities. There are risks, however, because political and cultural forces can affect the image and personality of a country, turning association into a liability. Findings suggest that consumers are less interested to buy a product manufactured in a country for which they have a deep feeling of animosity. A good example is represented by Chinese consumers' attitude toward Japanese products. Due to Japan's perceived dominance in economic development and problems regarding violence inflicted upon China in the past, Chinese consumers tend to avoid buying Japanese products. Brand alliances can also be employed in tactical brand building, where the task is to create relevance, differentiation, and energy quickly in an effort that is not expected to have a long life. Tactical programs can take many forms, including advertising, publicity, guerrilla marketing, and promotions, which is a particularly powerful use of tactical brand alliances. Promotions are usually perceived as tactical devices to create short-term sales or other customer activity. As such, rather than being a brand builder, they can detract or damage the brand. Thus, financial incentives such as a $3,000 rebate for a car purchase or a 50-cent coupon for a food item suggest that the brand should be discounted since they shift attention away from the brand to price. Dialing up price implies that the purchase involves a commodity, exactly the opposite of creating differentiation and energy. Brand alliances can help generate promotions that are cost-effective, unique, and involving, however, while still enhancing and reinforcing brand values.
When Volkswagen decided to make our mountain bike a standard feature on their new Jetta, we said, cool. We got a chance to check out their Jetta, and they got a chance to check out our bike. We tested handling, braking, suspension, and of course, safety. The limited edition
David Alker's book, Brand Portfolio Strategy, informs us that the good alliance partner will have several characteristics. First, it will have associations that support the brand identity and positioning strategy. Second, it will lead to a promotion that will be interesting, involving, and apart from the clutter. Third, a partner will contribute resources or capabilities that will make the promotions more cost effective. I'm going to take this a step further by saying for a strategic partnership to work, there must be equal value for both brands in the relationship. The brand's values must match each other, and the strategy must easily be understood by the consumer. An effective brand alliance should offer a compelling customer proposition that can become an ongoing competitive advantage and/or helps to build the brand effectively or efficiently. It should support both the business strategy and the brand building needed to implement that strategy. it should at least have the potential of supporting an ongoing relationship rather than being an ad hoc effort. There should be a cooperation and balance in a relationship between two very different brands that consumers identify with. For it to work, it must be a win-win-win relationship for the customer and both companies. And there are a few ways to do this. One way is to cast a wide net. One advantage of a brand alliance is the unlimited number of possibilities to explore options and ensure the alliance selected has the best chance for success. This can happen if a firm seeks the best possibilities that are actively guided by the business, marketing, and brand strategies rather than the opportunistically. A potential brand alliance partner needs to be compatible along several dimensions. Choose a partner that makes sense to your business and to the consumer. And create customer-driven alliances. The customer can drive the brand alliance strategy through their relationship to the product class, relevancy, motivation, and trends. It is the customer's interests, values, and activities that link the brand to their lives. Valvoline customers are involved in cars and follow NASCAR. MetLife customers value humor and appreciate Peanuts cartoon characters. And then think for the long term. A brand alliance that creates a co-master brand, branded differentiator, or a branded energizer is a program with long-term perspective. Success will rarely occur without a long-term brand building program, in part because it takes time to create associations between brands and the full economic impact will usually occur over time. The alliances between Volkswagen and Trek bicycles, Snoopy and MetLife, and Valvoline and NASCAR are based on relationships that span years, if not decades, and this contributes to the strength of associations and the impact. Embedding a brand alliance in a family of co-branded programs can potentially strengthen both the impact of the alliance and its value as a long-term partnership. Consider the relationships Disney has with Kellogg's and once had with McDonald's that involve joint brand building efforts and have a lasting perspective. Kellogg's has licensing deals for the use of Disney characters on its collectible cereal boxes, and in return is the official breakfast sponsor at Disney theme parks. An alliance, particularly if it involves strong brands, has significant risks. If one partner should falter, the other could fail to receive the expected benefits, and in the worst case, could be damaged. For example, the long-term commitment between McDonald's and Disney assumes a flow of successful Disney movies to support McDonald's promotions, as well as the continued reputation and energy of McDonald's among kids and families. If either assumption weakens, the alliance could become a burden rather than an asset. And this is exactly what happened in 2006, when Disney chose not to exercise their option to renew the agreement with McDonald's. Disney executives claimed that the decision was purely business related. However, some other high-ranking Disney sources said they wanted to distance the conglomerate from the fast food industry and its association with childhood obesity. McDonald's had held 11 promotions a year for Disney films, videos, and television shows, and the agreement was worth $1 billion to Disney. Ouch. That really hurt them. An important beneficial aspect is the awareness that external brands are part of the brand portfolio and can be assigned roles, meaning they can be actively managed. The external brand's image, personality, product attributes, and organizational associations are all part of the portfolio view. This is a strategic and long-term view to guide future brand directions that can adjust the strengths and prospects of the partner brand. Now, I would like to leave you with some final thoughts. Creating, implementing, and leveraging brand alliances is not easy. True partnership brand marketing programs are more than just promotions. When carried out at a strategic level, partnership marketing can be expansive and deliver its full potential. Many organizational challenges exist, but if a brand is in drastic need of new life, then the ability to successfully use external branded energizers as an option may make all the difference in staying viable. My name is Douglas Martinez, and I want to thank you for watching this presentation of external brand energizers.